Hi Booktube! I'm here with the Boujee Booktuber Tag, and this was created by a Book Olive. Just a little commentary first off. I don't understand. Maybe because I'm old. Maybe because I was like very socialist starting in high school and am socialist now, so like bougie is like more of an insult than anything, so does it mean something good? I don't know. But let's do the tag anyways. So, what is your average monthly budget for books? Good question. I don't have a set budget for books. If I have the money, I buy the book. That's the way it works. If I don't have the money, I don't buy the book. Most of the times when I do have the money, it's not because I'm wealthy, but because I generally buy books at thrift stores where they're anywhere from like 10 cents to $5 at most. Occasionally I will buy a new book or spend more to get a specific book online though, and at those times I will budget it, but that doesn't happen very often. So no budget. But not because I'm rich. Just because I just didn't budget book buying. Number 2. And we're gonna totally contradict what I just said in that last one. What's the most you've ever spent in a bookstore? In an actual bookstore, the most I've actually spent is in an actual bookstore and like buying books for pleasure, not buying books for school. I had grants for buying books in school, so it wasn't my own money I was spending there. But in an actual bookstore, the most I spent is actually, it was close to $300. That's because my brother worked at Indigo chapters and they were having a employee sale where books were 40% off, and I said treat yourself. So we went to one of the bigger stores and I just kind of went crazy. I definitely had to budget for that. I can't remember how many books I got, but I was definitely very happy with everything that I got. It was one of the few times I went out and bought new books instead of waiting for them to come to the thrift stores. So yeah, that was a giant splurge on my part. Question 3. Are you willing to pay full price for a brand new release, or will you wait until you have a coupon or there's a sale? I'd rather wait. Books in Canada, in my opinion, and in my budget, are expensive. New books. A new release in hardcover can be anywhere from $20 to $50. And when I know that I can find the book used later for like a much cheaper price, I don't want to spend that much. And another factor is that because I wrap my unread books, I may not actually get around to reading that book for years to come. So why not just wait for a cheaper copy anyways. There are a few authors or series where I will pay full price. I will pre-order the book, but I buy directly from the independent publisher. And one author that comes to mind is Evan Munday. He's a Canadian author. He writes the Dead Kid Detective Agency, which I adore. And I can't wait for the next one to be published. I want to pre-order it already. I already pre-ordered the last one. I actually got the first copy for free in exchange for a small donation to a reading charity. And I feel like I owe him for writing such a great series that I just want to like buy his books all the time. Question 4. Would you rather buy one new book or several less expensive used copies? Several less expensive used copies. I'd rather have more than less. That's the way it is. Number 5. What do you think is a reasonable price for a new hardback, a paperback, and ebook? I really don't think I'm the one to answer this question, as I'm not willing to pay current prices for new books. With that, you know, certain exceptions. However, I think the current prices are probably justified because authors deserve to get paid, publishers, editors, cover artists, booksellers, they all deserve to be paid, and this is the price that they come up with that they think they deserve. I think the problem with book prices probably has more to do where the money actually goes currently, as opposed to what price adjustments need to be made for the consumers. So like more money should go to the authors, more money should go to, you know, the book cover artists, and, you know, as opposed to just the people selling the books. I think, you know, that's different factors going on there. But number 6, is a signed book worth more to you? How about a first edition? Not particularly. If there's 2 copies of a book in like a thrift store or a used bookstore, and one is signed or a first edition, and the price difference isn't that bad between them, I'll pick up those versions because it's kind of cool to have. But for the most part, I don't really notice or care. when books are signed or when they're first editions or whatever, you know, the contents of the book are generally the same. So why would I spend more when there's, you know, a slightly different piece on the title page or on the copyright page? I just don't see the point. Question 7. What is your most valuable book or sentimental or actual value? I did spend close to $80 on one of my favorite comics of all time because it's no longer in print. It was the only copy I could find, and it was in France. And that's a copy of Moonshadow by J.M. DeMatteis and John J. Muth. And it's both actual value because, like, that's a really expensive book. That included shipping too, so. And it's both, and it's also sentimental because it's my favorite comic of all time, and I needed a physical copy of it to have in my hand. So yeah, that was definitely a budgeted book. Question 8. Will you pay more for a cover or edition you like better? I find this is the same as with the signed editions or the first editions. I'm not too concerned about covers myself. I'm pretty easy to please when it comes to covers anyways. Saying that, however, I am totally guilty of buying books just because they have pretty covers. But again, those are from thrift stores, so I'm not spending any more than like $5 in that case because it has a pretty cover. But you know, if the same book is much cheaper in a different cover and I don't like that cover as much, I'll probably get that book because when I'm looking at the book, I'm looking at the inside of the book, not the outside of the book. And the spines are what's displayed on the shelf as opposed to the front cover anyways. So, I mean, I like it because like artists need to be supported, but at the same time, it's just, I don't really care myself personally. So, what physical characteristics does a good quality book have? Thick pages are definitely a marker of quality for me. I like the substance of that. So for example, there's a publishing house in Canada called Coach House, and they have these like just textured thick pages. Is this Coach House? Coach House? I don't know which one more. Yes. So for example, books from Coach House Publishing, I don't know if the texture will show up on camera there, but their pages are nice and thick, and then they have like this weird texture that just makes it so nice to read. This is a copy of Suzanne by Anaïs Barbeau-Lavalette, by the way. Another book, another author that has quality pages actually is Z Danielewski. The pages are just like glossy and they're thick and they're nice to hold. Another quality is a strong binding. You can also, you can definitely see this in used books. You know, some cheaply constructed books will have tears along the bottom where the spine meets the covers, and you can kind of tell that those books are not well put together. Those are top things for me, a quality page and binding. Other things are more like aesthetic things, like a nice cover, or when the edges of the pages are colored, or if it has French flaps, I kind of like those things. But they don't always indicate that it's physically a better product, it's just kind of like aesthetically it looks nice. Number 10. If you won the lottery, what bookish things would you do with the money? I would buy a big house so I can have more spaces to put books. I would then, without hesitation, just buy whatever book I wanted. And I'd do it at a local independent bookstore because then I could really afford to support them. I'd probably donate to some reading programs. And I'd buy a huge beanie bag for the ultimate reading space, chair, bed thing to read on. A bonus question. Give us an image, actual mental, of your dream home library. So the room would be indoor-outdoor. Kind of like the corner of the room would be completely open just to the outdoors. And the outdoor is like a nice pool with plants all the way around it, just kind of like you can't see too much of the sky or around it because it's all just surrounded by plants. And then like the string lights, I like those strung all around it. And the actual library inside would be like 2 stories with bookcases that go from floor to ceiling with the ladders, you know, that kind of roll around. And it'd be like dark. The library would be dark, dark wood tones, and then like there'd just be like pillows and bean bags and like Sherpa rugs all over the floor, and then like there'd be on-demand rain, warm rain falling, so I can then like go out in the pool. I love reading in the pool. Don't like come at me, but like I love floating there and just like holding a book and reading it. Yeah, that would be my ultimate dream library. So that's it for the Boujee Booktuber tag. If you haven't done this already, you're tagged. Thank you for watching.